because I had to watch 2 videos to see how he pronounced it. It's Hozier.
I'm Hozier. I'm Hozier.
This song is like real people do, and this is a very interesting fingerstyle song. If you watched the song, if you watched any of the videos, you will see a very unusual technique. He plays most of the song with these 2 fingers. We would call that in fingerstyle your P and your M finger, or your thumb and middle, and he leaves his index finger out. So he strikes the strings in this unusual manner, which is unlike anything I've ever seen before. I am fairly tolerant of students when they play certain right and left hand fingerings unless I feel it's going to interfere with their technique. On first glance I would think that this finger position would, but for him it doesn't, and I feel that, you know, if you want to play it that way, that's fine. I may do a little of both. I'll try to do the whole thing his way if I can. If not, I'll do the traditional, my thumb middle, and then go to my ring finger or A finger. This song is not capo. Of course, a somewhat lower voice, so if you are a female, you're going to want to learn the song and then eventually play it capo. I think a good middle ground for capo would be fret 3. But for now, just for the sake of learning, I'm going to stay in open position. Okay, so I'm going to leave my index finger out like I said earlier and see if that works for me. I don't think I've played it yet that way the whole way. Being that the intro is a little tricky, I'm actually going to start with the verse. A very unusual thing about this song is there's really only one bass note played the whole way until we get to the end. It's going to be a G, which is 3rd fret 6th string, and it's going to repeat like this throughout just about the entire song. Now, make sure that when you're striking with your thumb that you're getting a positive contact with the string. Do not do rest stroke, which would be, you don't want the bass to be too loud. What you're going to do, like that. The guitar melody part happens to follow the melody of the song, so I should say easier to play. So the first thing we have, get used to playing 2 notes at a time. Remember, if you want to do thumb and index, it's fine. I'm doing thumb and middle. For every melody note, there's one bass note. Okay, one thing I did not do, if you notice in my left hand, I did not go to a more traditional old school G fingering. I went to 2nd position and put my 2nd finger on the lower G, and so that you can play all of the licks in a more comfortable position, especially once we get to the intro and start doing the slurs. Then it's going to be easier to slur that way than it would be like this. You don't want to deal with this, believe me. But for the melody, we have on the top, and I'm just going to use my middle finger. It's a very simple melody. It's almost folk-like. Now if you add the bass to it, now I'm going to stop there because there's a little tricky rhythm in there. You're hitting a G, and then an upper G, 3rd string open. It's syncopated. So let me play the first half of the verse. Let me do it again. Ending's a little tricky. Or if we want to go to the last 4 sounds, we have
I think these are things that, at the very, very core of these ideas, that undermines what it is to be a human being. I'm Hozier.
I recommend that you take this song in small pieces and memorize it. And the only way you're going to memorize it, and sometimes students don't want to do this, is to repeat or loop sections over and over and over. 1 or 2 times is not a loop. A loop needs to be done over and over and over again until you have it memorized. So let's just take the very beginning. Then you can start to add a little bit of velocity or speed. What you can do is after the first 4 sounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you can do the little, then you have about 1/4 of the first half of the verse. Makes sense? 1/4 of the first half of
I'm
the
Hozier.
verse.
I'm Hozier.
Okay, now let's move on. You do it over and over again. That's up to you to do.